Howdy folks, welcome back to Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Brent.
And I'm Amber.
And we got a good one for you today.
It's very windy today.
Yes it is, it's very windy today.
And we had some storms come through last night that have brought in some very nice weather, but it is very windy. So we're doing things a little bit different this time. We're gonna film here and then kind of show you what we're talking about, and hopefully the wind isn't so bad that you guys can bear with us.
But first, we need y'all's help, like a lot, because we get very caught up here on the homestead. We've got a lot of things going on at all times. We try and video as much as we possibly can, showing y'all educational stuff primarily. We do some fun videos every now and then, but we really support the self-sufficiency, self-sustainability thing. And for this weekend is our chicken processing weekend.
If you guys followed along at all, you guys know we have the meat chickens this year. We're doing 2 batches. It is time. This weekend we are processing the meat chickens, and we need to know what you guys want to see. What do you want us to focus on? What are you most interested in when it comes to processing these meat birds? We want to know, and if we can't get it in this weekend's video, we have another batch in the fall, and we'll really try to get into it then.
And it's really tough because YouTube really only wants to, they'll censor a lot of stuff if we show too much. I'm willing to sacrifice that on that video because I want to be able to get as much information as I possibly can out there for y'all.
So even if it gets censored like that, you guys will just have to know to go look for it, because it's not just going to pop up for you because it'll be censored or restricted, that type thing. So.
Y'all ready to get out in the wind? The audio is going to be horrible, but it is what it is. It's a spring, Central Texas spring weather wind. So let's get after it.
That's what it is.
All right, so if y'all remember from one of our earlier springtime videos when we did our corn planting this year, y'all would remember that we did a GMO corn and then we did a conventional field corn. We've grown conventional field corn here in this spot for several years in a row, and this is primarily the corn that we use to feed our poultry. We still do a lot of store-bought, but I want to do some investigation in between GMO versus a natural, not necessarily organic, but just a conventional corn. And last night we had a pretty hefty storm come through here in Central Texas. Had a lot of wind, some hail, a lot of rain, and I just want y'all to take note. This is something I recognized this morning. If you look, there's a pretty distinctive line right here, somewhere right about there. Everything on this side is the conventional corn. Everything on that side is GMO. And look at how bad the conventional just field corn took a beating. All the GMO is still standing up. Conventional corn is pretty much laid down. Now, once the sun starts coming out and the wind eases up, I fully expect this corn to stand back up. I just find it very interesting to see how much better the root system is for the GMO corn versus the conventional. I'm not pro GMO in any kind of way, but we are doing some experiments with it because I want to know everything about it before I do a video on it. Y'all should probably get that video this summer. It's gonna be quite interesting. So let's go check out the rest of our garden.
Hey guys, so we're here in the trellis, and if you guys have been following along, you've been with us as we built this trellis, as we expanded this trellis, and this year as we planted this trellis. It just seems like this time of year, every little bitty rain shower we get, it feels like things just explode. These green beans, I swear to you, felt like 2 days ago when I looked at them, they weren't even up at my waist height yet. Now this one is over my eye height. I'm 5'2" on a good day if I'm wearing my boots, and it's already up here. It's just such an exciting time. If you look over here on this side of the trellis, we've got our, this is spaghetti squash. Look at how great. They feel like they just exploded. Overnight, give them a little bit of really good rain, that fresh nitrogen, and your garden just starts producing so wonderfully this time of year. It's so exciting to see. We've got spaghetti squash growing on this side. We've got melons that we're trellising over here on this side. We've got cucumbers farther down. Everything is just growing and blooming. It's very exciting. Let's go check out the rest of the garden. Hey everybody, so this part of the video, the wind got really bad with the audio, so we decided to do a quick voiceover on it. This is our potato hill, and we wanted to show you that the potatoes are already starting to turn, which means here shortly we will have potatoes to harvest. It's a really great thing to see. Sorry for the wind noise through the rest of the video. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right, so here we are at the Culture Mound, and this is my absolute 100% most favorite way to garden everything. And we treat it kind of bad because it's the last thing to get planted every year. We primarily plant in our raised beds, our container beds, or in the row crop. Basically, the Hugo Culture Mound gets all of our leftover seeds from everything else that was just left over. And I've got videos on making the Hugo Culture Mound. It's actually a pretty good technique to get it to where it is now. But look at this thing. This thing just does phenomenal. All of our squash, garlic, onions on top. We've got sweet potatoes planted in it. It does a phenomenal job with everything we've ever planted in these. And it's just doing great once again this year. So check it out.
Okay, so this is probably the thing I am the most excited about so far this year, this springtime on our homestead. Last year, Brent and myself grew 80% of our own food, and this year one of our goals was to increase the amount of fruit that we harvested off of our own homestead. This peach tree we planted, and we have a baby peach. We have 2 little bitty baby peaches, and I am so stinking excited it's not even funny. So between the peaches, we've got wild grapes growing, we've got wild plums growing, we've got dewberries. I'm just ecstatic that we finally have a peach. Now, whether or not I'll get it all the way to maturity, I don't know. If I can keep the birds and the squirrels off of it.
Raccoons on that one.
Raccoons, but I'm just really excited. This is a start. One peach isn't gonna make us survive, but we gotta start somewhere with it.
Yep.
So, and that's what we always encourage everybody to start somewhere. Here's our start somewhere. So wish me luck on this one peach, and let's hope for a couple more.
Let's go check out what is volunteering itself again this year.
All right, so every year in the fall after Halloween, between the pumpkins that I get for decoration around the homestead, which Brent laughs at me for, and between friends, families, neighbors, whoever decorated with pumpkins, we take them. If they're going to throw them away and not use them for anything, we take them to feed to our chickens. It's a really good for their digestive tract and all of the things. There's a whole list of things that pumpkins are really good for your chickens for. But we always pile them up right here. In the past couple of years, we've had volunteer pumpkin plants pop up here. Well, this year, I don't even know if we can call this volunteer anymore because we purposely let pumpkins just rot here. We just let them do what they were going to do. We just let them naturally happen. And this is what we've got. We've literally got dozens and dozens of volunteer pumpkins that are growing. And last year we had a 7.5 pound pumpkin that we harvested off of a seed that was just on the ground from us cutting up pumpkins right here. So this year we just decided to let it go crazy. There's some irrigation here from the tubs from our squash plants that are here, so it does get a little bit of irrigation, but other than that we don't do anything to it, and we just want to see how far this goes. We're not going to thin it, we're not going to do anything to it, we're just going to let it go. And it's just exciting to see how many of them actually are producing. Like, they're just going nuts. So it's one of the things, it's just fun experiment here on the homestead. It's something that, you know, we do every year, and it's just kind of cool to see that, you know, Mother Nature will do its thing if you get out of its way. So let's go check out the tomatoes and the peppers.
All right, so now we're in Amber's favorite part of the garden.
I have a lot of favorite parts of the garden, but yes, this is definitely I am partial to this little corner of the garden. It is where we plant all tomatoes and peppers. So it's not all of our tomatoes, but it is all of our peppers. They just love this little corner between the protection from the wind and the elements and the amount of sun. They just do really well here year after year. So that's just kind of what this little corner has become. And I really think that this year is going to be a tomato year.
It is a tomato year. I want to say this is probably the best tomatoes we've grown in at least the past 10 years. And we are just, I think today's April 10th, and we have tomatoes that are probably going to be ready for harvest in the next 3 to 4 days.
We definitely have some green tomatoes that are already starting to turn on us. They're showing some color. The plants, as you can see behind us, are looking really, really healthy this year. They're growing. They're just very happy, healthy plants, which is just exciting to see. It's that time of year. I know I keep saying it, but it's an exciting time of year for me, and I think it's an exciting time of year for all gardeners or homesteaders. It's, you know, new life and everything. Our pepper plants are doing really good. We've got several plants with peppers already on them. We've got blooms on almost every other pepper plant. We have a tomatillo plant this year, and that's our first year for tomatillos. And that's a different plant.
It's just really tight in this little area back here. We're gonna get some B-roll footage for y'all after we close the video out. but we want y'all to see the difference, how some plants get they're more susceptible to bug damage than others.
Right.
Particularly in the pepper plants this year. It's very interesting.
It is. This is our first year to grow the tomatillo plants, like I was saying, and that is a very interesting way that that plant produces its fruit. So, and it seems like that plant has been more susceptible to a certain type of bug versus the 2 pepper plants that are right next to it. They're completely fine and healthy and producing. The tomatillo is producing, but it's definitely attracted some bugs. So that's something to look forward to, you know, figuring out how to treat that. There's just a lot going on. It's a very exciting time of year.
So, in the meantime, folks, we always encourage y'all every single week, get off the system, start producing for yourself, become more self-sustainable. If y'all have any questions about what y'all want us to show or want to see in next week's chicken video, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. We are going to try and get that in there for y'all.
Please. We definitely want to know what you guys want to see when it comes to processing those meat chickens. And if we can't do it this time, like I said, we'll do it in the one in the fall. Start small, do something, make one step, put a potato plant on your patio, something.
Hang in there for that B-roll footage.
See y'all next week.
See you next week.